Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
So nice to hear or see all of you after a long time. So yeah, let's see if we can resume. Maybe somebody else will join, a couple more people, but at least 4 of us should be good to start. So let me share my screen to try to remember where we stopped last time. So yeah, we're in the 7th canto. And basically we're at the end of the story of Prahlad Maharaj. If you remember Lord Nrsimhadev, he killed Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad offered prayers. After that, Lord Nrsimhadev, he instructed Prahlad. Then Lord Brahma offered prayers. And then in this concluding part that we did last time, which was a month or two ago, Narada Muni concludes the whole narration by telling the story of 3 birds of Jai and Vijay, gatekeepers of Vaikuntha. So this was actually their first bird, as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So they were born again as Kumbhakarna and Ravana, and eventually as Shishupala and Dantavakra. And only Krishna will be the one who will deliver them. So Lord Nrsimhadev is not delivering them, he's killing them. And by being killed by Lord Nrsimhadev, they are awarded high birth and opulence. So Ravana and Kumbhakarna, they were very opulent and basically very high birth as kings. And then after Lord Ramachandra killed them, again they were awarded very aristocratic and royal birth as Shishupal and Dantavaktra, two Kshatriya kings, again very opulent. So this was the result of their being killed by other incarnations other than Krishna. But then only in the last birth, when they were killed by Krishna, they achieved liberation and they finished their material existence. And the concluding verse there is describing how even if one absorbs his mind in Krishna, even through enmity, even then he is awarded liberation and he attains that form that he was absorbed in. So Shishupal and Dantavakra, they're completely absorbed in Krishna's form, and naturally they attained Krishna. Momentarily, it was impersonal, looked like impersonal liberation, looked like they were merging into the body of Krishna. But then after that, they were reinstated to their positions as gatekeepers of Vaikuntha. So Sarupya Mukti is attaining the same form as the Lord. And now we are just here at the end, conclusion where we hear the Falashruti and glorification of the Pandavas. We are the Shloka 49. So I will start reading and then we can again change readings. If you cannot read, you just let me know. That's okay. Whoever can read, that's good. If you cannot, you can only listen. All right, I'm continuing reading. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashta Praishu Bhadrishu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloki Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Guravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtita Deshatarine. So 49. Savayam Brahma Mahad Vimrigya Kaivalya Nirvana Sukhanu Bhuti Priya Suhridva Kalu Matuleya Atmarhanio Vidikrit Guruscha. Yeah, Matulea, the son of maternal uncle, or that's called nephew. Matulea. Translation. The principal Brahman is Krishna himself, because Krishna is the source of impersonal Brahman. He is the origin of the transcendental bliss sought by great saintly persons. Yet he, the Supreme Person, is your most dear friend and constant well-wisher, and is intimately related to you as the son of your maternal uncle. Indeed, he's always like your body and soul. He's worshipable, yet he acts as your servant and sometimes as your spiritual master. No, the son of a maternal uncle is a cousin brother. It's called cousin brother. Nephew is for the uncle, a relationship with the uncle. But in this case, Maharaj Yudhishthira and Krishna were cousin brothers. Purport. There is always a difference of opinion about the absolute truth. One class of transcendentalists concludes that absolute truth is impersonal, and another class concludes that absolute truth is a person. In Bhagavad Gita, the absolute truth is accepted as a supreme person. Indeed, that supreme person himself, Lord Krishna, instructs in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmanohi pratisthaham. This is from 14th chapter. Mata paratharam nanyat, from the 7th chapter. The impersonal Brahman is my partial manifestation, and there is no truth superior to me. That same Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, acted as the supreme friend and relative of the Pandavas, and sometimes he even acted as their servant by carrying a letter from the Pandavas to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. Because Krishna was the well-wisher of the Pandavas, he also acted as guru by becoming the spiritual master of Arjuna. So Arjuna accepted Krishna as his spiritual master. Shishyasteham sharimham tvam prapanam. 2nd chapter, Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna sometimes chastised him. For example, the Lord said, Ashochan anvashochastvam pragyavadamscha bhashasya. While speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. The Lord also said, Kutastvam kashmalam idam vishame simupastitam. My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? Such was the intimate relationship between the Pandavas and Krishna. In the same way, a pure devotee of the Lord is always with Krishna through thick and thin. His way of life is Krishna. This is the statement of the authority of Sri Narada Muni. And Vishwanath Thakur, one should not say that the Param Brahman has become the human form of Krishna. Rather, Krishna becomes the Param Brahman. This famous human form of Krishna is Brahman, sought by the great saints, a realization of supreme bliss without distinctions or qualities. One should explain it as a statement of confirmation, like Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. The proof is Brahmano hi pratisthaham, on the basis of Brahman. The word Vai indicates certainly about this. Not only does he live in your house, but he is dear. He gives you great bliss. He's a friend. He does things for you, your benefit. He's your cousin. He's obedient to you because of family relationship. He's your Atma. He thinks of you as his own body. He's worthy of worship. He protects you by his mercy. He's your servant. He places himself at your disposal as a charioteer. He is Guru. he gives you good advice. He does reside in the houses of Prahlad and others, acting as a servant or guru. So Narada Muni here, he is encouraging Maharaj Yudhishthira, because Maharaj Yudhishthira, he listens the stories of different devotees' relationship with Krishna. In this case, he listened the story of Prahlad, and then he thinks, oh, they're so fortunate, and then he forgets how fortunate he is and all the Pandavas. They're even more fortunate than Prahlad. They're more fortunate than most of the other devotees of the Lord, apart from Brijbasis and the Gopis specifically. Why Pandavas are more fortunate? Because Krishna is their cousin, and naturally they have very, very close, intimate relationship. They can, joke with him. Arjuna, when Krishna would visit Indraprastha, would go on, hunting excursions, sleep together, eat together, joke together, do so many things together. Very close relationship. So this same Krishna who is Param Brahman, who is the basis of Brahman. So this is something that is very encouraging to hear, not only for Maharaj Yudhishthira, but for all of us. It's encouraging to hear that Krishna can become our very close and dear friend, if we choose so. As he became for the Pandavas, he can become for us. But we need to become fully Krishna conscious, as Arjuna and Maharaj Yudhishthira and other Pandavas are. And then we can relish direct relationship with the Lord. And in that relationship, we can even forget that He's God. And that appeals, and that's more dear to Krishna than a reverential relationship where one worships Him in awe and reverence. He actually wants intimate, close, loving relationship that is devoid of the conception of His supremacy. Because naturally, when somebody has this awe and reverence, some fear and distance is there, and the relationship cannot be so close. There must be some, respectful distance. Just even with one's guru, it's very difficult to have a close friendly relationship because there's always some, distance and respect. You're afraid not to commit offenses. So that's why Krishna prefers, loving relationship where the worshipper is not aware that he's God. And that place where this happens is Vrindavan. Of course, in Dwaraka, Yadus, they're aware that Krishna is Super Soul, the Paramatma. They're not really all aware of his Bhagavan feature, but they're aware of his Paramatma feature. But in Vrindavan, they're completely oblivious of his supreme position. They think that he's just, their son, or, lover or friend, whatever relationship they have with him. So that's why, cowherd boys, sometimes they carry Krishna on their shoulders, sometimes Krishna carries them. There is no distinction between them in the relationship. Okay, so let's continue reading. Subhadra Mataji, would you like to read? Are you there, Subhadra Mataji? Am I audible? Can anybody hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu, I
Yes,
can
Prabhu.
hear you, but how you say, my computer is doing some strange. I want to read that
Okay,
1 minute.
yeah, please.
Kan je dit wegdoen? I got it. Sorry. न यस्य साक्षात् भवपद्मजादिभिः रूपं दियावस्तुतयोपवर्णितं मौनेन भक्त्योपशमेन पूजित प्रसीदताम् एष स सात्वतां पतिः.
Very nice tune. Okay.
Exalted persons like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma could not properly describe the truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. May the Lord, who is always worshipped as the protector of all devotees by great saints who observe vows of silence, meditation, devotional service, and renunciation, be pleased with us. Purport. The absolute truth is sought by different persons in different ways. Yet he remains inconceivable. Nonetheless, devotees like the Pandavas, the Gopis, the coward boys, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan do not need to practice conventional processes of meditation to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for he remains with them through thick and thin. Therefore, a saint like Narad, understanding the difference between transcendentalists and pure devotees, always prays that the Lord will be pleased with him. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, why does the basis of Brahm act as a servant for the vision of material people like us? I, being a fool, can't understand the truth about his great powers and his being controlled by the devotees. Prem, since Brahma and others do not understand the truth about him, Rupam is not directly described in truth, as it is Vastutaya by intelligence. Since intelligence can't approach him, we pray for his mercy by silence and other processes. You pray for his mercy by being servants. That is the difference between you and us. Here it says that persons like Brahma and Lord Shiva, they couldn't describe the truth properly and about Krishna. And he protect always his devotees. And it said actually here, like the gopis, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, Mother Yashoda, and they don't need to practice the meditation because they are not seeing actually Krishna as God. They are seeing as their relatives, their son or their brother or their beloved. So that is, Narad Muni is saying that there are differences between a transcendentalist and a pure devotee. The inhabitants of Vrindavan and they are pure devotees of the Lord, so he sees them different. And they have a servant attitude, and the basis of Brahm, actually they have a servant attitude, and that is the difference between us and the inhabitants of Vrindavan. I think this about that, and about the form and the form, the quality, etc. of the Lord, that they know. They don't. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, basically the verse speaks about the supremacy, the supreme position of pure devotees in comparison to other transcendentalists who perform processes like jnana and yoga, yogis and jnanis and karmis. Devotees are on much higher position. And then even amongst devotees, there is a gradation. And the topmost of all devotees are residents of Vrindavan, like Mother Yashoda, Nanda, and other Vrijvasis, and of all of them, the gopis are the highest because of the pure love. So the love is what makes a difference here. And that's why Narad Muni is praising Maharaj Yudhishthira, because he's so fortunate to have that supreme absolute truth on whom yogis meditate. Be his cousin brother who often stays in his house. This is something, you know, really, really amazing. Just imagine you have a God as your relative, and he comes and he stays with you. That's something really unfathomable. Okay, who is the next? Dhanashri Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, I will try. I will try, Prabhu. Everybody, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'll try. Shaisha Bhagavan Rajan, Vyatanod Vyatam Yasha, Varadrasya Devasya, Mayananta Mayina. My dear King Yudhishthir, long, long ago in history, a demon known as Maya Danava, who was very expert in technical knowledge, reduced the reputation of Lord Shiva. In that situation, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, saved Lord Shiva. Purport. Lord Shiva is known as Mahadev, the most exalted demigod. Thus, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that although Lord Brahma did not know the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva could have known them. This historical incident proves that Lord Shiva derives from Lord Krishna, the Para-Brahman. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Brahma may not understand, but Shiva definitely can understand. Actually, Shiva's power is given by the Supreme Lord. To explain this, another story is told. Yeah. So in this verse, it is explained that Krishna is above Shiva, and it is everything comes from Krishna, even if Shiva has a certain power, but everything comes from Shiva. From Krishna,
From Krishna, yeah.
from Krishna. I'm sorry. So I don't see what else to say.
Yeah, this is very short. Basically, Maharaj Yudhishthir, no, Narada Muni starts telling this history about Maidana and Shiva, and we have to be aware that Lord Shiva is the highest of all the demigods. Lord Brahma and all other demigods, they're in the category of Jiva Tattva. While Lord Shiva, he is Ishvara Tattva. It means that he is practically non different from the Supreme Lord, but he is Ishvara that is touched by material energy. You know, Vishnu Krishna, he's never touched by Maya. But for the purpose of universal affairs, when the Vishnu wants to engage in the universal affairs, then he assumes the form of Lord Shiva, and he's touched by the gunas of material nature. But he's still Ishvara. Still, it's like a milk and yogurt. Milk, which is compared to Vishnu, is and yogurt is compared to Shiva. So milk can be turned into yogurt, but yogurt you cannot turn back to milk. That's why Vishnu is the origin of Lord Shiva. But in one sense, they're not different. In another sense, they are simultaneously somewhat different. Like yogurt is different from milk, but it originates from milk. All right.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
excuse me, I just wanted to clarify because it happened to me during my absence. Somebody who was reading the Bhagavad Gita, who is not
Yeah.
a devotee, asked me what is the difference between Shiva and no, what is the difference between Vishnu and Shiva and Krishna and the Brahman and Krishna. So it was very difficult for me to answer these questions. That's why I would like to clarify. When I answered that Brahma was the architecture of the universe,
Yeah.
he's the firstborn. He was born from the navel of the Lord, And for Vishnu, Vishnu comes after Krishna. Krishna is the first personality. The most important is God, the supreme personality of Godhead. And Vishnu comes in universal affair, like material affairs. Do you think it's a good answer or?
No. Vishnu is present on Vaikuntha Lokas even before, and not in relation with any material affairs. Vishnu is still there, just on the Vaikuntha, and Vishnu comes from Baladeva. It's just expansion of Krishna. So he is also God, his supreme personality of Godhead. Just it's not original personality of Godhead, but he's same Krishna, same person. He's God, he's God. Difference with the Shiva. Shiva is also, so this is two categories of living entities we have, Ishvara and Jiva. So Ishvara is Krishna and all his expansions, all the different Vishnu tattvas, Vishnu's, Narayans, Nrsimhadev, Ramachandra, Matsya, Kurma, so many. They're all Ishvara, they're supreme controllers. They're not small living entity, they're unlimited supreme person and his different expansions. So when this supreme person, Krishna or Vishnu, wants to take part in universal affairs, he assumes the form of Lord Shiva, and he comes in contact with material energy or Maya. That's why Shiva and Parvati are there. So Shiva comes directly from Krishna. He's not small living entity Jiva. He is still Ishvara. He's still controller, but there is some difference between him and Krishna, as I explained, that yogurt is different from milk, but in one sense they're not different, but in other sense they're different. And Lord Brahma and all other demigods, they are small atomic jivas who are specially empowered to perform certain functions in the universe. But they're in different category. They're in category of Jiva Tattva. Shiva is not in category of Jiva Tattva. He is in category of Ishvara Tattva. So that's why he's higher than all other demigods. So this is the simple way to explain it. But yeah, you cannot say Shiva is supreme. No, Vishnu and Krishna, they're supreme. Shiva is something in between the all other living entities, including great demigods like Lord Brahma, something in between the Jivas and Krishna. But he's more on a on a Vishnu Tattva side, you can say, because he's also Ishvara. Yeah, I hope this is clear, Mataji. Okay.
Yes, it gives me some more elements to meditate on because it's not so easy to have a question like this.
Yeah, Shiva Tattva, it's a long topic. One can speak whole class and seminar actually. Yeah, you could read.
This
Yeah.
person is not familiar with Krishna consciousness.
Oh, this is new person.
A new person, so
Yeah, then the explanation should be very simple. You don't get entangled too much. Just telling me Shiva is one of the demigods or one of the managers of the universe appointed by Supreme Person, by God. but he is not God. The explanation I gave you was more technical. It was more for devotees who know something. For the person who doesn't know, you just tell them straight, no, Krishna or Vishnu, they are supreme. Shiva and everybody else, they are subordinate to Krishna. This is enough for a person
Yes.
who doesn't know anything.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Shiva is a Rudra Tattva, isn't it? And he isn't that here, that theory is going Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Rudra Tattva, Shiva Tattva. Shiva is Shiva Tattva. Rudras are different expansions of Shiva who perform, certain functions in the universe, like distractions at certain points of time, distraction of the universe. 11 Rudras are there, but also there is this Sada Shiva in Vaikuntha, who is coming directly from Vishnu, and it's explained that Advaita Acharya, he was this Sada Shiva, that he is incarnation of Sada Shiva, and whom else? Like he was a combination.
Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu is Sada Shiva, yeah. Mahavishnu is
But
Sada Shiva.
then can you say in this connection, because he is coming from Vishnu, that he is a Vishnu Tattva, Sadashiv then? This Sadashiv who is in Advaita Acharya, he is also Vishnu Tattva, or he is...
Yeah, the Sada Shiva is Vishnu Tattva, but then further expansions from Sada Shiva down, there's something in between. They're not Jiva Tattva, definitely, but they're not fully Vishnu Tattva. In the same way as the yogurt is not fully milk, but it's coming from milk. So
Yes.
it's in between category that we call Shiva Tattva. Cannot call it Jiva Tattva, you cannot call it Vishnu Tattva, but you can call it Ishvara Tattva, Ishvara. If you categorize living entities just in two categories, Ishvara and Jiva, then Shiva is in Ishvara category.
That's
He's
all.
not in the Jiva category. So he's not small living entity.
Mm.
But Shiva is also a function in the universal affairs. But see, Lord Brahma, sometimes it's Jiva, but sometimes even when there is no quality of a living entity, Krishna or Vishnu, he can assume the position of Lord Brahma. So at that time, Lord Brahma is Vishnu Tattva, if the Vishnu takes charge of that post.
Yeah, I had another question.
Yes.
Can Shiva give you liberation, or is it only Vishnu Tattva?
No, only Vishnu, only Krishna can give liberation. Shiva cannot and does not want. It's not his prerogative to give liberation. This is very, very clear that only Vishnu or Krishna specifically can liberate. Yeah. See, there are so many Shiva bhaktas, Shiva worshippers. I don't know any one of them who ever attained mukti just by worshipping Lord Shiva. They attain, material opulence and mystic powers and whatever they want, but liberation, Krishna has to give. It's not in the domain of what Lord Shiva can give. Anyway, this story we read here, mostly Lord Shiva's worshippers, they don't ask for liberation. They ask for other things, for material things. Mostly they're materialistic, like this demon that we are going to hear about now. Okay, let us continue. Shantirupa Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Raja Vacha Kasmin Karmani Devasya Mayo Ahan Jagati Shito Yatha Chopachita Kirti Krishne Nane Katyatam. Translation. Maharaj Yudhishthir said, "For what reason did the demon Mayadanav vanquish Lord Shiva's reputation? How did Lord Krishna save Lord Shiva and expand his reputation again? Kindly describe these incidents. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Raja refers to Yudhishthira. Explain how Maya destroyed the reputation of Shiva.
And one more.
There's nothing to say
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah, you just go continue, yeah.
Okay. Shri Narada Vacha Nirjita Asura Deva Yudhi Anenopabrimhite Mainam Paramacharyam Mayam Sharanam Mayayu. Translation. Narada Muni said, when the demigods, who are always powerful by the mercy of Lord Krishna, fought with the Asuras were defeated, and therefore they took shelter of Mayadanav, the greatest of the demons. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Anena means by Krishna.
You can continue until we come to the
Okay.
purport.
Sanirmaya Purushastisro Haimiropya Yasir Vibhu Durlakshapaya Samyoga Durvitarkya Parichada Tabhiste Asura Senanyo Lokam
Ishwaranipya.
Smaranto Nashayam Chakru Purva Vairam Alakshita. Translation. Mayadanav, the great leader of the demons, prepared 3 invincible residences and gave them to the demons. These dwellings resembled airplanes made of gold, silver, and iron, and they contained uncommon paraphernalia. My dear King Yudhishthira, because of these 3 dwellings, the commanders of the demons remained invisible to the demigods. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the demons, remembering their former enmity, began to vanquish the 3 worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the houses coming and doing could not, going, I think it should be, could not be seen. He made the houses and gave them to the demons.
Yeah, going.
Yes.
Okay, more.
Tataste Sheshwara Loka Upasadeshwaram Nataha Trahinastavakan Deva Vinashtam Tripurat Layai. Translation. Thereafter, when the demons had begun to destroy the higher planetary systems, the rulers of those planets went to Lord Shiva, fully surrendered unto him, and said, Dear Lord, we demigods living in the 3 worlds are about to be vanquished. We are your followers. Kindly save us. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Ishwaram means Shiva. So, Athanugrihya Bhagavan Ma Bhashteti Suran Vibhu Sharam Dhanushi Sandhaya Pureshvastram Dvemunchata. The most powerful and able Lord Shiva reassured them and said, Do not be afraid. He then fixed his arrows to his bow and released them towards the 3 residences occupied by the demons. Tato Agnivarna Ishava Utpetu Surya Mandalat Yathamayukha Sandoha Nadrishyanta Puroyataha. The arrows released by Lord Shiva appeared like fiery beams emanating from the sun globe and covered the 3 residential airplanes, which could then no longer be seen. Like rays from the sun, the arrows emanated from Shiva. Because of the arrows, Yataha, the abodes could not be seen. Taisprishta Vasava Sarve Nipetu Sma Parokasha Kasaha Tan Aniya Mahayogi Maya Kuparase Akshipat. Attacked by Lord Shiva's golden arrows, all the demoniac inhabitants of those three dwellings lost their lives and fell down. Then the great mystic Mayadanav dropped the demons into a nectarian well that he had created. Purport: the asuras are generally extremely powerful because of their mystic yogic power. However, as Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yoginamapi sarvesham madgatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo mam sa me yuktatamo mataha. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. The actual purpose of mystic yoga is to concentrate one's attention fully on the personality of Godhead, Krishna, and always think of him. Madgate nantaratmana. To attain such perfection, one must undergo a certain process, Hatha Yoga, and through this yoga system, the practitioner achieves some uncommon mystic power. The Asuras, however, instead of becoming devotees of Krishna, utilize this mystic power for their personal sense gratification. Mayadanav, for example, is mentioned here as Mahayogi, a great mystic, but his business was to help the Asuras. Nowadays, we are actually seeing that there are some yogis who cater to the senses of the materialists, and there are some yogis and there are impostors who advertise themselves as God. Mayadanav was such a person, a god among the demons, and he could perform some wonderful feats, one of which is described here. He made a well filled with nectar and dipped the asuras into that nectarian well. This nectar was known as Mrita Sanjeevayitari, for it could bring a dead body to life. Mrita Sanjeevayitari is also an Ayurvedic preparation. It is a kind of liquor that invigorates even a person on the verge of death. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says he put them in a well of nectar to restore their life. So this is the Mayadanav's mystic power. He created the nectarian well and he dipped the asuras in the well to revive them. Prabhu, I would like to ask a question.
Yes, please.
Why did the demigods go to Shiva instead of Krishna?
Well, sometimes they go to Lord Vishnu, Kshilakshay Vishnu on the bank of Milk Ocean.
Yeah.
On this particular occasion, they asked Lord Shiva because they also know the power of Lord Shiva, and maybe he was easier to access and ask, and they wanted him to engage in the battle. So they thought better engage Lord Shiva in our service than engage Lord Vishnu. I don't know what was their thinking process exactly, but somehow in this occasion they approach Shiva. On some other occasions they will approach Vishnu. So we would need to ask them what was their motivation in this particular occasion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
So it's interesting here, this Mrityu Sanjeevani. There is some Ayurvedic preparation, but actually in they don't really know what was that original plant used by Madhanava. So modern, Mrityu Sanjeevani Ayurvedic herbal wine, it's not really going to revive anybody from that. That science has been lost, and actually many of the of the original preparations that were there in Ayurveda, their potency and power decreases because the plants and everything else is losing its power over the time. So even if the composition, might be the same, these are not the same plants as used to be millions of years ago. So it might not have the same potency, although it might have the same name. Even what was that plant that Hanuman went to pick up to revive Lakshman?
I think it was Vishallakaran.
Yeah,
Sanjeevani.
that was also some Sanjeevani thing. But who will, locate what is actually the plant, if that same
It's a
plant still exists?
Vishallakarani, I think it's.
Yeah, whatever it was, but nowadays I don't think we can really find that plant anymore. Or even if we find it, it might not have the potency previously that existed previously. But see here, Mahadhanama is such an expert that he can revive those who died, but under condition, I think that the body is still preserved. If the body is chopped, the hands are missing and legs are missing, then even this Marita Sanjiva Ithari is not going to help if the body is mutilated. The body still has to be intact, but the soul has gone. He has stopped breathing, or the heart has stopped, or brain has stopped, but the body is still intact. And then if it's dipped here, it can be revived. It means that somehow the soul will come back to the body, and the heart will start beating again, and he will start breathing again. And there are other occasions, if you remember the story of Chavana Muni and Ashwini Kumaras, when they dipped the old man who was almost 100 years old, when they dipped him into that lake, he emerged completely young with a regenerated body. That his wife, what was her name, the Sukanya, she could not recognize who the husband was and who the Ashwini Kumaras were. So there are many sort of these mystic things that are known to higher beings like demigods and also Danavas and Daityas. They have higher knowledge, and Mahadana certainly had a higher knowledge because he was expert Mahayogi. Uh, but because he used it for the wrong purpose, he used it to help those who against Vishnu, against the demigods, to help demons. He's also considered a demon. He's a Danava actually. He's born in a subterranean Bilvasvarga with other Danavas and Daityas. So he's helping them, but yeah, he knows the process of yoga and how to do these miraculous things. All right, let us continue. Gunaraj Prabhu, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. सिद्धामृतरस स्पृष्टा वज्रसारा महाजुष उत्तस्तुर्मेघ दलना वैद्युता इव वर्णया. Translation. When the dead bodies of the demons came in touch with the nectar, their bodies became invincible to the thunderbolts. Endowed with great strength, they got up like lightning penetrating clouds. Vishnu Chakravarti comments, they were like fiery lightning piercing clouds. Just as lightning derides the beauty of clouds, the warriors derided the beauty of the dark airplanes.
I just remember there was another Amrita that was distributed by Mohini Murti that was created in churning of the milk ocean. And those who drink it, they become practically immortal. I think the Rahu, yeah, he drank it, and that's why his head became immortal. The body died because the body was not touched by the Amrita, but the head of Rahu survived. So this is, yeah, another type of nectar. You can read more because there is no purpose.
Vilokya Bhagna Sankalpam Vimanaskam Vrishadvajam Tadayam Bhagavan Vishnus Tatropayam Akalpayat. Translation. Seeing Lord Shiva very much aggrieved and disappointed, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, considered how to stop this nuisance created by Maya Danava. Vatsas Toda Toda Brahma Svayam Vishnu Rayam Hi Gau Pravishya Tripuram Kale Rasakupamrutam Papav. Then Lord Brahma became a calf and Lord Vishnu a cow. And at noon they entered the residence and drank all the nectar in the well. Vishnu Chakrata comments, Kale means at noon. Teshurahi api pashyanto na niyashedan vimohitaha tad vijnanaya mahayogi rasapalan idam jagau Smayan Vishoka Vishoka Sokatan Smaran Daiva Gatim Chatam. Translation. The demons could see the calf and cow, but because of the illusion created by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demons could not forbid them. The great mystic Maya Danava became aware that the calf and cow were drinking the nectar, and he could understand this to be the unseen power of providence. Thus he spoke to the demons who were grievously lamenting. Devoshuro naronya va neshvaro asti astiha kaschana atmano anya asyavadishtam Deivane pohitum vayo. Translation. Mayadanava said, what has been destined by the Supreme Lord for oneself, for others, or for both oneself and others cannot be undone anywhere or by anyone, whether one be a demigod, a demon, a human being, or anyone else. Purport. The Supreme Lord is one, Krishna, the Vishnu Tattva. Krishna expands himself into Vishnu Tattva, personal expansion, Swamsa, who control everything. Mayadanava said, however, I plan, you plan, or both of us plan. The Lord has planned what is to happen. No one's plan will be successful without his sanction. We may make our own various plans, but unless they are sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, they will never be successful. Hundreds and millions of plans are made by all kinds of living entities, but without the sanction of Supreme Lord, they are futile. Vishnu Chakravarti comments, no one is capable, Ishvara, of counteracting what is decided by fate for oneself or another or both. Here we can see that when what Krishna wants, if he wants to protect anyone, then no one can kill him. And the same way, if Krishna wants to kill somebody, no one can protect him, whatever power he may have, wounds.
Yeah, this is the main point, that Daiva, the supreme will or the fate, is what determines the outcome of events. So many people are planning so many things, but what will happen is up to the Daiva, which ultimately means Krishna. Yeah, he's the one who has to permit for plans of others to come to pass. Without his approval, without his sanction, it will just not work. So instead of trying to make our own plans, the best would be to try to synchronize ourselves with the Lord's plan and then act for the fulfillment of that plan. So what is the Lord's plan? The Lord's plan is, at least in this Kali Yuga, is to spread the Sankirtan movement. So if we take a part in fulfilling this plan, the Lord Chaitanya will be very pleased. And then all our desires will be fulfilled, and we don't need any of our own plans. Okay, I'll continue reading. Attasau Shakti Bisvabhi Shambho Pradanikam Yadha Dharma Jnana Yuratridi Tapo Vidya Kriya Adibhi Ratam Sutam Dvajam Vaham Danur Varma Sharadiyat Sanado Rattamastaya Sharam Danurupa Haddade. Translation. Narada Muni continued. Thereafter, Lord Krishna, by his own personal potency, consisting of religion, knowledge, renunciation, opulence, austerity, education, and activities, equipped Lord Shiva with all the necessary paraphernalia, such as a chariot, charioteer, a flag, horses, elephants, a bow, a shield, and arrows. When Lord Shiva was fully equipped in this way, he sat down on the chariot with his arrows and bow to fight with the demons. Purport, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, Vaishnavhanam Yata Shambhu. Lord Shiva is the best of the Vaishnavas, the devotees of Lord Krishna. Indeed, he is one of the Mahajans, the 12 authorities on Vaishnava philosophy. Swambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manu, etc. is from 6th canto. Lord Krishna is always prepared to help all the Mahajans and devotees in every respect. Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter. Although Lord Shiva is very powerful, he lost the battle to the Asuras, and therefore he was morose and disappointed. However, because he is one of the chief devotees of the Lord personally equipped him with all the paraphernalia for war. The devotee therefore must serve the Lord sincerely, and Krishna is always in the background to protect him, and if need be, to equip him fully to fight with his enemy. For devotees, there is no scarcity of knowledge or material requisites for spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. Vishnu Thakur. Also means Krishna. Pradhanika means articles for battle, such as chariot. The Lord empowered the articles with his various energies. Since the Lord Shakti is eternal and victorious, the articles of war also become similar. Shiva on the chariot was also endowed with Bhakti Yoga, the Lord's quality, and those on the chariot, like the driver, were also endowed with knowledge and other qualities that take shelter of Bhakti. So it's not enough to give somebody weapons. The weapons needs to be empowered by the Lord, and in this case, Lord not only gave the weapons, but empowered them. Also, same in the Arjuna's case on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. All these divine astras given to Arjuna by various demigods, they were all endowed with the Lord's Shaktis. And that's why Arjuna could, defeat the whole army of the Kurus, although they were much, much stronger and greater in number. Still, Arjuna's arrows were so powerful because they were completely empowered by Lord Krishna's power. But later we see when the Lord Krishna left the planet and Arjuna encountered some cowherds while he was escorting Lord Krishna's queens from Dwaraka. These cowherds easily conquered him and took the queens. So Arjuna then realized that actually it was not his strength. It was not the power of the weapons. It was Krishna's strength who empowered him to earlier do such great activities and to defeat all the enemies previously. And now he had, the same weapons. He was the same Arjuna. He had the same chariot, same horses. Still, he was easily defeated. The greatest warrior on earth was easily defeated by some cowherds. So this was the moment when he realized that it's all power comes from Krishna, and he has to empower us to do anything, especially to do great things. So also to spread Krishna consciousness, Krishna had to empower Srila Prabhupada to come to the West and do these things. Otherwise, it was not possible for Prabhupada or for anybody else. Empowerment had to be there. So we should always, remember this point that if we want to do anything, significant or not significant, we need blessings of Vaishnavas and the Lord. And then if they bless us, if they empower us, then we can do it. Otherwise, not possible. Okay, so yeah, Lord Shiva is here fully equipped, and now he's going to fight the demons. Okay, let us go again. Oh, Chatura Mataji is now here. Chatura Mataji, Hare Krishna, welcome. Can you hear us? Would you like to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, not long time not seeing you.
Very nice to hear your voice again.
Long time not seeing you.
Yeah.
Okay, at least a little bit you're here. So we'd like to read.
You mean I read?
Yeah, it's everybody else
Okay.
read. Yeah.
Okay. Text 7.1067 Saran Tanushi Sandaya Mahu Vite Vijitit Swaraha Tadahatena Tadvidya Karota Chipura Ripa. Translation. My dear King Yudhishthira, the most powerful Lord Shiva joined the arrows to his bow. And at noon he set fire to all 3 residences of the demons and thus destroyed them. Shri Chakravati Thakur, Abhijit means noontime.
We can continue reading till we come to the purport of Srila Prabhupada.
Okay. 7.1068. Divi dundu bayo na dur vimana satha sankulaha deva rishi piche siddesha jayati kusha kusumota rehi Avakiran Jagahishta Nandritas Cha Saroganaha. Translation: Sitting in the airplanes in the sky, the inhabitants of the higher planetary systems beat many canto drums. The demigods, saints, Pitas, Siddhas, and various great personalities show flowers on the head of Lord Shiva, wishing him all victory. And the Asparas began to chant and dance with great pleasure.
Yeah, you can read more.
Yeah.
Yeah, until we come to the purport.
7.1069. Evan the Purastishro Bhagavan Puraharipa Brahmadi Stuyamanaha Swantama Patyapadyata. Translation: O King Yudhishthira, thus Lord Shiva is known as Tripurari, the narrator of the 3 darings of the demons, because he burned these darings to ashes, being worshipped by the demigods headed by Lord Brahma. Lord Shiva returned to his own abode.
And one more.
Yeah, 7.1070. Evan Vitani Asya Hare Swamayaya Vidan Pamanasya Lokan Amanaha Viryani Gitani Shibi Jagaguru Lokan Punanani Aparan Vadamikim. Translation: the Lord Sri Krishna appeared as a human being, yet he performed many uncommon and wonderful pastimes by his own potency. How can I say more about his activities than what has already been said by great saintly persons? Everyone can be purified by his activities simply by hearing about them from the right source. Purport: Bhagavad Gita and all the Vedic literatures fully explain that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna appears in human society as an ordinary human being, but acts very uncommonly for the well-being of the entire world. One should not be influenced by the illusory energy and think Lord Krishna to be an ordinary human being. Those who really see the absolute truth come to the understanding that Krishna is everything. Vasudeva Saman iti. Such great souls are very rare. Nonetheless, if one studies the entire Bhagavad Gita as it is, Krishna is very easy to understand. The Krishna consciousness movement is just trying to make Krishna known all over the world as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna's two Bhagavans via Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.28. If people like this movement seriously, their lives as human beings will be successful. Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, the Lord bewilders people by his Maya so that they do not worship him out of bewilderment. Thus ends the commentary on the 10th chapter of the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 7th canto, 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Prahlad, the best among exalted devotees.
You want to tell us something about this, what you read?
Sorry,
Some paraphrasing you can do.
okay, okay. And so those phrases describe that Lord Shiva became victorious, and then he the demigods in the heavenly planets just congratulated Lord Shiva with the singings and dancings and also flowers and etc. And the most important verse is the last verse that we should, the last two verses that we should understand that although Lord Krishna, he appeared as a human being in the human society in on this world, in this world on the Earth planet, but he is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He just performed the activities of human being, like an ordinary human being, to attract the human being. So we should not think that the Lord has the same body like us. The Lord is transcendental. His body is also transcendental. The Lord is not under the material gunas, the three gunas. And so we should know that the Lord, now in this Kali Yuga, the Lord sent Srila Prabhupada to set up this Hare Krishna movement. So when we became consciousness of the God, and then we can understand the aim of human beings. That's all.
Thank you. Yeah, you summarized well. Yeah, basically this is the end of this chapter, and this is the end of the story of Lord Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj, and now we are entering into the completely different topic, which is Varnashrama, perfect society, full social classes. We have just 10 more minutes, so maybe I can just read the summary. in these 10 minutes, and then we'll stop before starting the chapter. So chapter summary. This chapter describes the general principles by following which a human being, and specifically one who is interested in advancing in spiritual life, can become perfect. So interesting thing that we read till now in the 7th canto about pure bhakti of Prahlad Maharaj, and now we are going to seemingly lower topic, which is Varnashrama. So why is Shukadeva Goswami doing this, and Maharaj Yudhishthir with Narada Muni, what they're going to these topics? So we will discover that a little later. So by hearing about the characteristics of Prahlad Maharaj, Maharaj Yudhishthir became extremely pleased. Now he inquired from Narada Muni about the actual religion of a human being and about special characteristics of Varnashrama Dharma, which marks the high status of human civilization. When Maharaj Yudhishthira asked Narada Muni about these matters, Narada stopped giving his own statements and quoted statements by Lord Narayan, for he is the supreme authority for giving religious codes. Dharman tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Every human being is expected to acquire 30 qualities, such as truthfulness, mercy, and austerity. The process of following the principles of religion is known as Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religious system. So, before general population can embark on a path of bhakti, they first need to become civilized. Because for the uncivilized, it's very difficult to take part of bhakti. That's why Varnashrama Dharma is given to help general population come to the level of human life, to raise above the animalistic life that is centered only about sleeping, mating, eating, and defending, in order to be able to make further progress towards the devotional service. And these 30 qualities that are given here, which will Narada Muni explain, starting with the truthfulness, are necessary for all human beings in order to be counted as humans. What to speak about being devotees? Devotees already, if he's really a devotee, he's by default, by definition, already truthful, merciful, and so on. So if you find that, the truthfulness, for example, is missing in a devotee, that means something is wrong. That he is maybe not really a devotee, or he's just aspiring devotee. Because truthfulness and other qualities, even those who are not yet devotees, but who are just human beings, they're supposed to have these qualities. Okay, the Varnashrama system delineates the divisions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. It also sets forth the system of samskaras. The Garbhadana samskara, the ceremony of begetting a child, must be observed by the higher section of people, namely the Dvijas. So that means Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, they must observe all the sanskaras, including Garbhadana sanskara. Shudras, they are not expected to observe because they're just ignorant, and it will be very difficult for them. So one who follows the Garbhadana sanskara system is actually twice born. But those who do not, who deviate from the principles of Varnashrama Dharma, are called Vijabandhus. The principal occupations for Brahmana are worshipping the deity, teaching others and how to worship the deities, studying the Vedic literatures, teaching the Vedic literatures, accepting charity from others, and again giving charity to others. A Brahmana should make his livelihood from these 6 occupational duties. The duty of a Kshatriya is to give protection to the citizens and levy taxes upon them, but he is forbidden to tax the Brahmanas. The members of the Krishna consciousness movement should therefore be exempt from the government taxation. Kshatriyas may tax everyone but the Brahmanas. Yes, so we should be exempt, but I don't think we can really explain that to the government. Government is expecting the tax, and they won't buy us saying that we are Brahmanas. And sometimes we are not really Brahmanas. But in many places, ISKCON is, for example, registers some charity, which is helpful for avoiding many taxations. But still, devotees, they don't want to pay any, so they are devising different means how to circumvent and not pay tax. Money in black, meaning using cash instead of account transfers and things like that. So Kshatriyas may tax everyone but the Brahmanas. Vaishyas should cultivate the land, produce food grains, and protect the cows, whereas the Shudras, who by quality never become Brahmanas, Kshatriyas through Vaishyas, should serve the 3 higher classes and be satisfied. Other means of livelihood are also prescribed for the Brahmanas, and these are 4: Shalina, Jayavara, Shila, and Unchana. Each of these occupational duties is successfully better. It will be explained later what these are exactly. One who is in a lower grade of social life cannot accept the profession of a higher class unless necessary. In times of emergency, all the classes but the Kshatriyas may accept professional duties of others. The means of livelihood known as Sarita, Shilonchana, Amrita, Ayachita, Mrita, Yacha, Pramrita, Karshana, and Satyanartha, Vanijya may be accepted by everyone but the Kshatriyas. For a Brahmana or Kshatriya engaging in the service of the Vaishyas or Shudras is considered to be the profession of dogs. So if we are really a Brahmana, we will not engage in a service of others, especially, karmi masters, companies and corporations. Of course, nowadays we have, many devotees, especially in the Middle East, all Indian devotees working there for different corporations. Yeah, but still somehow they're devotees and they continue, although they're engaged, but it's not ideal for Brahmana to be engaged in the service of such masters, especially Middle East Muslim masters. Although we had example of Rupa and Sanatan who were also engaged by Nawab Hussain Shah, they had actually no choice. They were forced to be in his service. Otherwise, he would, kill the whole village where they came from. Narada Muni also described that the symptom of a Brahmana is controlled senses. The symptoms of a Kshatriya power and fame, the symptoms of a Vaishya is service to the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, and the symptom of a Shudra is service to the 3 higher classes. The qualification for a woman is to be very faithful and chaste wife. In this way, Narada Muni described the characteristics of higher and lower grades of people and recommended that one follow the principles of his caste, or his hereditary occupation. One cannot suddenly give up a profession to which he is accustomed and therefore it is recommended that one gradually be awakened. The symptoms of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are very important, and therefore one should be designated only by these symptoms and not by birth. Designation by birth is strictly forbidden by Narada Muni and all great personalities. And this is how Smarta Brahmanas designate their position. I'm a Brahmana, so give me dan, give me the donation, just because they're born in a Brahmana family. But in reality, most of them, they do not have Brahminical qualities, so they're just Brahma Bandhus, Dvija Bandhus, the relatives of Brahmanas. They're not real Brahmanas. So birth doesn't really determine much or determine anything anymore. Previously, in other yogas, you had, birth matching the qualities of people being born in certain families. So those who were born in Brahmana families, they had Brahminical qualities, but still they were not accepted as Brahmanas until they undergo Brahminical training and go through all the sanskaras, and only once they get Upanayana, they are considered Brahmanas. Before that, they are still Brahma Bandhus. But nowadays, everything is so mixed in Kali Yuga that, birth doesn't mean anything anymore. You can be born in any family, and most likely you'll be just a Shudra, because this is the general state of population nowadays. And of course, outside of India, everybody is born in the Mlacha families. But sometimes these people born there, they are devotees, especially after Srila Prabhupada went there. So many devotees were born in Western families. So that means that birth is not determining much. But the qualities. And the qualities come both from previous birth plus from training and education in this birth. So even if we don't have the qualities, if we acquire them, still we can become a Brahmana or whatever we want to become. Okay, it's already 6:30, so if anybody has anything else to say for the end, otherwise we'll stop and continue next Wednesday. Is this 5 p.m. okay for everybody, or on Wednesday? Or we should change to some other time?
No, Prabhu, it's okay.
It's okay, okay.
Yes.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna,
it's okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Next Wednesday, I am not in the class. I am traveling to Europe, so I don't know if the time will fix me. So I have to see.
Okay, yeah, safe journey. Thank you for letting us
Yeah.
know. How long you're staying there?
I don't know. I'm going for preaching purpose, so it can be 3
Ah.
months or something.
Wow, great. Oh, good
Yeah,
luck.
but I will continue with the lesson, but I have to see if the time.
Yeah, the timing there will be, I think Europe is now changing to the summertime.
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours will be, so if it's 5 o'clock here, that means it will be 1:30, something like that. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think will be able to manage.
Yeah, it will be your lunchtime if you can manage.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is something. Yeah, but I will see. Fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. See
Krishna
you
Prabhu, thank
next
you.
week. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
But Babu,
Yes, Mataji.
yeah, you mean next Wednesday we begin the new chapter?
Yeah, we start reading the 11th chapter.
Okay. And what about your health now?
Which house? What about house?
Your health. Your
Oh, my health.
physical health.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
health. My health is okay. I mean, already a long time. I was not so long sick, but there was a festival and this and that, so many things. Yeah, I had some sort of whatever it was, like looked like a COVID for 2 weeks. But after that, there was a festival and so many things happening. But my health is
Oh,
good. Thank you for asking.
oh,
I'm
okay.
not yet ready
Yeah.
to die.
What about Mayapur now? Is it okay? Everything with Mayapur?
Yeah, Mayapur is fine. Just getting hot and hot, more and more hot. So this will be the hottest. Next 2 months will be very hot season. But
Okay,
we'll
okay.
survive. We'll survive as every year. How is in China? Good. Still cold.
Yeah, we are in the springtime now.
Mm,
Yeah, sometimes cold and then sometimes light summer, high temperature.
mm.
Yeah.
Yes, somehow not during festival again. Not many Chinese people came. Just some people, some devotees from Hong Kong. I guess India still didn't open borders for China. For
Yeah,
some
no,
reasons.
no open.
Still didn't open. Anyway, we can have online association at least through Zoom.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So see you next week. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.